Jeremiah 33. And the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah a second time, while he was still shut up in the court of the guard, still under arrest, saying, Thus said Yahweh who made it, Yahweh who formed it to establish it, Yahweh, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is his name. Call unto me, and I shall answer you, and show you great and inaccessible matters which you have not known. For thus said Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, concerning the houses of this city, and the houses of the kings of Judah, which are thrown down against the siege mounds and the sword, while coming to fight with the Kasdim, the Babylonians, and to fill their places with the corpses of men whom I shall strike in my displeasure and my wrath, all for whose evil I have hidden my face from this city. So Yah speaking to Jeremiah, Jeremiah is prophesying on behalf of Yah. Due to the crookedness of Jerusalem, they have a reckoning coming, and the Kasdim, the Babylonians, are being used to settle the score by Yah. Now, previously, in Jeremiah 32, we talked about how even in the midst of this, Jeremiah is buying a field and investing in Jerusalem to give hope to the righteous among the Yehudim, the tribe of Judah, the house of Judah at this point, which is Judah, Benjamin, and approximately 2/3 of the Levites. To give hope to them that even in the midst of this destruction that their unrighteous brethren have earned, that they have a promise that Yah has not forgotten them. So now in 33, Yah is speaking to Jeremiah to speak to the children of Israel for those who have transgressed. So there's a compare-contrast here between the mercy in 32 and the justice, the right ruling in 33. Verse 6. See, I am bringing it to relief and healing, and I shall heal them and reveal to them the riches of peace and truth. And I shall turn back the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel, two houses at this point, the house of Judah and the house of Israel, and shall build them as at the first, and shall cleanse them from all of their crookedness that they have sinned against me. And I shall pardon all their crookednesses that they have sinned, and by which they have transgressed against me. Sin is transgression of the law, 1 John 3, verse 4. And it shall be to me a name of joy, a praise and a pride before all nations of the earth who hear all the good I am doing to them. And they shall fear and tremble for all the goodness and all the peace I am doing. Fear and tremble. Fear in the Hebrew has a connotation of deep respect. They shall deeply respect me and tremble for all the goodness and for all the peace I am doing to it, Jerusalem. Thus said Yahweh, in this place of which you say it is dried up, without man and without beast, in the cities of Judah, in the streets of Jerusalem, that are deserted, without man and without inhabitant and without beast, there shall once again be heard the voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. Who's the bridegroom? Yeshua, Messiah. Who's the bride? Us. Yeah. So this goes all the way to Revelation. And the renewed heaven and the renewed earth and the new city, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. The voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, the voice of those who are saying, Praise Yahweh of hosts, the Lord Yahweh Sabaoth. For Yahweh is good, for his loving commitment is forever. How long? Forever. Wait a minute. I thought that the church replaced the Jews because the Jews didn't do what they were supposed to do. Forever. Insert forever meme here. Forever. For his loving commitment is forever, of those who are bringing the offerings of praise into the house of Yahweh. For I shall turn back the captivity of the land as at the first, declares Yahweh. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Lord Yahweh Sabaoth, in this place which is dried up, without man and without beast, and all its cities, there shall once again be a home of shepherds causing their flocks to lie down. In the cities of the mountains, in the cities of the low country, and in the cities of the south, and in the land of Benjamin, and in the places all around Jerusalem, and in the cities of Judah, the flocks once again pass under the hands of him who counts them, declares Yahweh. Separating the sheep from the goats. He left the 99 for the one. Yep, we're all sheep. See, the days are coming, declares Yahweh, when I, Yahweh, shall establish the good word which I have promised to the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. In those days, and at a time that I cause, a branch of righteousness to spring forth for David. This is Yeshua, the branch from the root of Jesse. Jesse was David's dad. In those days and at that time I cause a branch of righteousness to spring forth for David. And he, this branch of righteousness, capital H, he, Yeshua, shall do right ruling, justice, and righteousness in the earth. What is righteousness? Luke 1 verse 6, blamelessly walking in the commands of Yah. In those days Judah shall be saved, and Jerusalem dwell in safety. It's a deep rabbit hole, but when Yeshua returns, the second coming of Messiah, that his apostles, his taught ones, us, will recognize this is the second coming of Yeshua. The Yehudim, the house of Judah, will see him coming for the first time. And Judah shall be saved. What? Yeah. Go to Revelation. Revelation 7. The sealing of the 144,000. Those are the 144,000 of Israel. 12 from this tribe, 12 from that tribe, 12 from this tribe, 12 from that tribe. And a multitude too numerous to count, who have a testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach and keep the commands. That's us. In those days Judah shall be saved, and Jerusalem dwell in safety. And this is that which shall be proclaimed to her, Yahuwah our righteousness. Doesn't Yeshua say in John chapter 17, and I have revealed your name, Yahuwah, to those that you gave me. For thus said Yahuwah, for David there is not to cease a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel. And for the priests, the Levites, there is not to cease a man offering ascending offerings before me, to kindle grain offerings, and to slaughter continually. Not to cease. I thought that was all done away with. Again, read the book, Revelation. All this Old Testament stuff picks back up in the last book of the Bible, Revelation. And the word of Yahuwah came to Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, saying, Thus said Yahuwah, if you could break my covenant with the day, and my covenant with the night, so that there not be day and night in their season, then my covenant could also be broken with David my servant, so that he shall not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my attendants. So if day and night go away, then Yah will cease from his covenant with the throne of David and the Levites. Question: do we still have day and night? Yes. Yes, we do. I'm the Lord Yahuwah Sabaoth, I change not. Malachi 3 verse 6. Forever. His word will not return to him void. If he said it, he meant it. As the host of the heavens is not counted, nor the sand of the sea measured, so I increase the descendants of David, my servant, and the Levites who attend upon me. Now, if we flip back a little bit and go to 1 Kings 11, 1 Kings 11, there's a prescription for the sons of David to continue on his throne. 11:34, this is Yah speaking. But I do not take all the kingdom out of his hand, out of David's hand, because I have made him ruler over all the days of his life for the sake of my servant David, whom I chose because he guarded my commands and my laws. And I shall take the kingdom out of his son's hand and give it to you, the 10 tribes. That's the house of Israel. But the house of Judah. And to his son, David's son, I give 1 tribe, Judah, so that my servant David shall always have a lamp before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen for myself to put my name there. Verse 37, this is why we're here. So I take you, and you shall reign over all that your being desires, and you shall be king over Israel. And it shall be, if you obey all that I command you, and shall walk in my ways, and do what is right in my eyes, to guard my laws and my commands, as my servant David did, then I shall be with you, and build for you a steadfast house, as I built for David, and shall give Israel to you. Yeshua, what did he say? I come first but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And we know from the genealogy in Matthew chapter 1 that he is in the bloodline of King David. Yeshua is in the bloodline of King David. And in John chapter 15, if you love me, keep my commands as I have kept my Father's commands. Yeshua speaking, John 15. Verse 9. As the Father has loved me, I have also loved you. Stay in my love. If you guard my commands, you shall stay in my love, even as I have guarded my Father's commands, the Torah, and stay in his love, which he would have had to have done in order to be the Old Testament prophesied king, the Messiah in the line of King David. Because the prophesied king in the line of King David, if you obey all that I command you, and shall walk in my ways, and do what is right in my eyes, to guard my laws and my commands, the Torah, as my servant David did, then I shall be with you and build for you a steadfast house as I built for David, and shall give Israel to you. So back to Jeremiah 33, verse 20. Thus said Yahweh, if you could break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night, so that there not be day and night in their season, then my covenant could also be broken with David my servant, so that he shall not have a son to reign upon his throne, and the Levites the priests my attendants. As the host of the heavens is not counted, nor the sand of the sea measured, so I increase the descendants of David my servant, and the Levites who attend upon me. And the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, have you not observed what these people have spoken, saying, the two clans, the two houses, Israel and Judah, which Yahweh has chosen, have been rejected by him. So they have despised my people, no more to be a nation before them. Oh, really? Replacement theology. Oh, clearly Yah's pissed at Israel and Judah. Verse 25. Thus said Yahweh, if my covenant is not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the laws of the heavens and the earth, then I would also reject the descendants of Jacob and David my servant, so that I should not take of his descendants to be rulers over the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I shall turn back their captivity and have compassion on them. Again, is day and night still here? Turns out, yes, it's still here. Which means, ergo, Yah has not abandoned his covenant with David, or with the house of Judah, or with the house of Israel. Chapter 34. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh when Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and his army, and all the kingdoms of the earth under his rule, and all the people, fought against Jerusalem and all its cities. So the most powerful king in the world and all of his vassals are fighting against Jerusalem. This is Yah's word. Thus said Yahweh Elohim of Israel, go and speak to Siddiq-Yahu, the king of Judah, and say to him, thus said Yahweh, see, I am giving this city, Jerusalem, into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. And you, the king, Siddiq-Yahu, shall not escape out of his hand, but certainly be taken and given into his hand. And your eyes shall see the eyes of the king of Babylon, and his mouth shall speak with your mouth, and you shall go to Babel. But hear the word of Yahweh, O Siddiq-Yahu, king of Judah. Thus said Yahweh concerning you, you shall not die by the sword. In peace you are to die. And as the burnings of spices for your fathers, the former kings who were before you, so they shall burn spices for you, and lament for you, saying, alas, master, for I have spoken the word, declares Yahweh. And Jeremiah the prophet spoke all these words to Siddiq-Yahu, the king of Judah and Jerusalem, while the king of Babylon's army was fighting against Jerusalem and all the cities of Judah that were left against Lachish and Azekah. For only these walled cities remained of the cities of Judah. The word which came to Jeremiah from Yahweh after King Siddiq-Yahu had made a covenant with all the people who were at Jerusalem to proclaim release to them. They had bondservants in their house. They were supposed to be released in the 7th year, but they hadn't been. They were breaking Torah. That everyone was to set free his male and female slave, the Hebrew man and the Hebrew woman. No one was to keep a Yehudi, his brother, enslaved. And when all the heads and all the people who had come into the covenant heard that each one was to set free his male and female slaves and not keep them enslaved any longer, they obeyed and released them. They teshuvah, they turned. But afterward, they changed their minds and made the male and female slaves return whom they had set free and brought them into subjugation as male and female slaves. Therefore, the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus said Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, I myself made a covenant with your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, out of the house of bondage, saying, At the end of 7 years, each one should set free his Hebrew brother who has been sold to him. And when he has served you 6 years, you shall let him go free from you. But your fathers did not obey me, nor incline their ear. Now, this is the Torah of redemption, the instruction for redemption. When a brother has a debt that he cannot pay, another brother can pay his debt. And when he does, the brother who couldn't pay comes into the house of the one who paid the debt. And he becomes a bondservant in that house for 6 years. In the 7th year, he can go free. And if he does go free, he is to be blessed richly from the flocks and the herds and the stocks of the master of the house. Or he can confess his love for the master at the doorpost, where the blood of the covenant of the lamb, the Passover, is, and where the mezuzah, the little Torah scroll, is, and say, I love my master, I want to stay in this house as a bondservant forever, at which point they do. But they're given the opportunity to be released in the 7th year. That's not what happened here in Jerusalem. 15. And you recently turned and did what was right in my eyes, each man proclaiming release to his neighbor. And you made a covenant before me in the house which is called by my name. But you turned back and profaned my name, and each one of you took back his male and female slaves, whom he had set free, at their pleasure, and brought them into subjection to be your male and female slaves. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, you have not obeyed me in proclaiming release, each one to his brother and each one to his neighbor. See, I am proclaiming a release to you, declares Yahweh, to the sword, and to pestilence, and to scarcity of food, and I shall make you a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. Sounds a lot like Matthew 24, doesn't it? And I shall give the men who are transgressing my covenant, who have not established the words of the covenant which they made before me, when they cut the calf in two and passed between the parts of it. Genesis 15, Abraham does this, makes a covenant with Yah, splits these animals in two, and passes through them, and he meets Yah face to face here. Because there is not a covenant without blood. Way deeper teaching. The heads of Judah and the heads of Jerusalem, the eunuchs and the priests and all the people of the land who pass between the parts of the calf. And I shall give them into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life. And their corpses shall be for food to the birds of the heaven and the beasts of the earth. Sounds a lot like Revelation 19 imagery here. Let's see if we can find it. Revelation 19, when Yeshua returns and everybody has this hippy-dippy, peace, love, chicken grease, Jesus mental image, and then when we see him again in Revelation 19, nope. Revelation 19:11, John in the Spirit, and I saw the heaven opened, and there was a white horse, and he, Yeshua, who sat on him, was called trustworthy and true, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, having a name that had been written which no one had perceived except himself. And having been dressed in a robe dipped in blood, his name is called the Word of Yahweh. His name is the Word of Yahweh. The Word, the Torah. And the armies in the heaven, dressed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall shepherd them with a rod of iron. And he treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of El Shaddai. And on his robe and on his thigh he has a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw one angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the birds that fly in mid-heaven, come and gather together for the supper of the great Elohim, to eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of commanders, and the flesh of strong ones, and the flesh of horses, and of those who sit on them, and the flesh of all people, free and slave, both small and great. Isaiah 66 imagery here. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to fight him, Yeshua, who sat on the horse, and his army, us. And the beast was seized, and with him the false prophet who worked signs in his presence, by which he led astray those who received the mark of the beast, and those who worshipped his image. And the two were thrown alive into the lake of fire burning with sulfur. And the rest were killed with the sword which came from the mouth of him who sat on the horse. And all the birds were filled with their flesh. You can be on Team Yeshua, you can be on Team Yah, or you can be bird food. There is no gray area. There is no in between. Jeremiah 34:20. And I shall give them into the hand of their enemies, into the hands of those who seek their life, and their corpses shall be for food to the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the earth. And I shall give Sidkiyahu, the king of Judah, and his heads into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life, into the hand of the king of Babel's army that has withdrawn from you. See, I am commanding, declares Yahweh, and shall bring them back to the city, and they shall fight against it, and take it, and burn it with fire. And I shall make the cities of Judah a ruin without inhabitant. Jeremiah 34:35. Bless y'all. Shalom.